Welcome friends. In this video we are going to cover how we can manage email services for Linux distributions. Now email is one of the very fundamental services of network environment, and what's important, and you must remember this thing, is that for Linux environment not only that email is used for networked environment, but also it is used for non-networked environment. For example, if certain messages are generated by cron or certain other system messages, they can be sent to the local users that are residing on the server. So once a user gets logged into the server, the native email programs running on the very server, they will send the email to the user notifying him or her about the certain event that has taken place. Now, because of this very reason, most of the Linux distribution, they ship with the default installation of certain email programs and certain basic configuration, and you being a system administrator working on Linux, you should be able to understand that how you can use those email servers for your certain tasks. You should be able to understand the basics of email and certain email packages that have been installed on your system. What are some of the aliases? And also you should be able to figure out that how you can forward email if they are coming to a certain user account. One of the very basic mail transfer protocol is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, or as we call it SMTP, which is based on push messaging. And what I mean by that push is that the sending station, whatever the station that is trying to send the email, that initiates the SMTP connection. These SMTP servers, they are also known as MTAs or mail transfer agents. Now, once the message has been sent from, let's say this is MTA1 and this is MTA2, these and the MTA, let's say this one is 2, this one is 1. MTA1 has sent an email using SMTP or a message using SMTP protocol to this MTA2. Then once the message has been reached onto this email server, the users that are connected onto this server, they will employ multiple protocols. One of them is Post Office Protocol, and nowadays we use version 3, Post Office Protocol version 3, or IMAP protocol, which stands for Internet Message Access Protocol, to pull the messages from the inboxes of those particular users, and then they will be able to read them. Now, normally when you are configuring an SMTP server or an email server is running, most of the time it serves as the SMTP and as well as POP or IMAP. And what it implies is that an email server is responsible not only for sending the emails, but also for receiving the emails at the very same time. There are certain criteria or certain scenarios depending upon the requirements that you might want your server only for the SMTP or for sending purposes, or at other times you might only want it for receiving purposes. There is another type which is known as relay servers, relay email servers, and in that scenario what happens is that we have an MTA over here, then we have another MTA, and then another MTA. So this one, middle one, the user over here, or MTA, let's say A, this one is B, this one is C. The MTA A, if it intends to send the mail to MTA C, it does not do so directly. Rather, it may send it to B, and then B would relay it or forward it to C. Now, this is a possible security consideration with this MTA, and it could be that it should not be configured in a way so that anybody from anywhere in the world may be able to use your email server to relay the message to some other email server. And the reason is that because this server, then this one over here, it might be used to send or forward the spams emails that are coming from different SMTP servers to other servers. For example, maybe Yahoo or Gmail or or Hotmail servers, and once they receive the emails from your OpenRelay SMTP server, they are gonna block the IP addresses, so your server will get blacklisted. So make sure that your server is not configured in OpenRelay fashion. Now there are many MTAs available. One of the very popular, which has dominated the email market for quite some time, is SendMail. Now this SendMail has been in the email market for ages now, but it is losing its charm because of certain security aspects and the configuration that we have to do to make it work. It takes quite a toll to configure SendMail server to work in a proper fashion. Then after that, another very popular mail transfer agent is Postfix, which has far better security implementation as compared to SendMail, and also it is implemented in modular format as compared to SendMail, which is kind of monolithic. So performance wise, Postfix is assumed to be outperforming SendMail in many aspects, and almost all the major Linux distributions that are coming out in the market, they are by default come up with this Postfix. Then another one is Exim, EXIM, and this Exim is just like as far as architecture is concerned, it has got one configuration file just like that of SendMail, and by virtue of that, it is also kind of monolithic as that of SendMail. But the configuration wise, it is far easier to configure Exim as compared to SendMail. So because of that, a few Linux distribution, they also come up, they also ship up with this Exim as the default email server. The last MTA that I want to tell you about is Qmail, which is also modular in nature, and it was designed specifically. So this is also modular, and it was designed specifically while keeping security in the backdrop. Also, you can access this Exim, I believe it's exim.org website. For Postfix, it's postfix.org, and for Qmail, you can get the Qmail from qmail.org. Just like Postfix and Exim, Qmail is also very easy to configure, but it is not shipped by default with any of the major Linux distributions that are there in the market, and it's because of certain licensing issues that are associated with Qmail. But it's such a powerful mail agent that most of the network, or I should say system administrators, they do like to configure their systems and implement Qmail based mail servers in their environment. Now, as far as LPIC 1 certification is concerned, I'm not gonna cover the actual configuration and installation of these mail servers. Also, just like as I told you that most of the Linux distributions, if you do the full installation, they will by default be coming with any of the, rather most of them will be coming up with the Postfix installation in there. But to tweak it as per your requirement, as per your environment and your needs, you might need to fix certain things up. But for the certification point of view, there is not much into it. There you just need to understand what are certain mail servers and how to use them for a very limited usage and not in some full-fledged environment, although you can find full documentation for that. Now what I'm gonna do is that let's first bring up the CentOS operating system, and let's see that how we can manage Postfix based mail transfer agent to send mails. And let's have a look then aliases, and also try to, as I said in the beginning, that also try to forward the emails that are coming to a user account into a different user account. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So let me just pull up the terminal and let's try to SSH the CentOS machine which is at 192.168.1.30, the IP address that I've given to it. Now it is asking for the password. I have given the password, and now we are logged into the CentOS operating system. Now the first thing that I want to show you is what is the by default mail transfer agent that is installed on this CentOS operating system. So to see that, since this is CentOS, we can use the command which is rpm. So rpm, and let's query the package if it is in there, which is postfix. So we see that postfix installed, and also if I try to, let's say, query sendmail, that whether it is there or not, we see that sendmail is not there, and likewise exe is also non-existent. So postfix by default is available, and it is installed in this default CentOS 7 operating system with GUI interface that I had installed, and I have also made a video of that in one of my other courses that are freely available, that how to install CentOS operating system using VirtualBox. So once we have this postfix installed, let's first have a look at the aliases that where certain information related to certain processes is sent to which user. So to do that, let's type in let's edit the file aliases. It is in etc, and also you need to edit this file using root privileges. As you can see that I'm using my own username to edit the file, so that's why it is being opened in read-only format. So if I bring it up, let me just bring it all the way up. It is saying that this is the alias file, and but will be visible over network or from bin mail. So if I bring it down, we can see that for bin, for certain daemons, for shutdown, all the mail related information will be sent to the root. Likewise, we can see that if we have configured radius daemon, then it should also be sent to the root account. And if I bring it down a bit, we can see that fetch services are also sent to the root. So overall, you will have the feeling that all the process information, it is going over to the root. So what we can do is that except these FTP services, they are going to the FTP user. So what we can do is that we can define another user, let's say maybe Ahmed. So I can do that I can define Ahmed, and let this root user send all the information related to that Ahmed. Let me just append this one, give a tab over here and put my name. So what it will do is that all the messages, email messages that are being sent to the user root, they will be sent to the Ahmed as well. So once I log in, I will get all the information that is available over here. Now once we save the information, I am not actually saving it, you see I'm just quitting it. But once you save that, you need to edit this file with root privileges. Once it is edited, we need to run the command which is new aliases. Once you do that, the aliases that you have defined in this alias file, they will take into effect. Now let's create a user in the system, and then let's try to forward the email to that user. So to create the user, let's type in sudo, then user add, and let's create a user by the name of Tom. So I give in the password, and it is saying that warning the home directory. All right, so it does not make any difference. The user has been created, and let's also create the password for this user by typing in sudo password for Tom, and let's just give it a password. I have used less characters than 8. It has given me a warning, but it has accepted the password. The password that I have set is simply ABC. So the user has been successfully created. Let's try to send the mail, and the way to do that is there's a very simple utility which is known as just mail. The command is mail. It is very much rudimentary and very basic in functionality, but once you get the hang of it, how to use it, what are the certain commands, how you can send the mail or receive the mail or even send the attachments using this command, you will just love it. So let's try to send a mail to Tom. So it's very simple, mail space Tom, and let's just give the subject that this is, let's say this is a test mail, and now we type the body, which is test mail, and after that we need to press Ctrl D to end the body and get out of this program. So once we do that, the mail should be sent to the user Tom, and the way to do that is that we need to look at the mail folder of the Tom which is available. What we can also do is that we can log in using Tom, and it will show us that if the message has been delivered. But I can also show you that the mail is available if I type in sudo var, or sudo, I should say cat /var, then spool, then mail, and then the user, which is Tom. So we see that we have received one email at this moment, and it has come from Ahmed, which is me, and sent to Tom, and this is the subject that we have just typed in. And we can also see that the program that was used is postfix, and this is the body that it was a test mail. Now once the user Tom gets logged in, let's say I try to switch over to Tom, given the password, and if I type in the command which is mail, we see that we have this mail from Ahmed, and this is the subject, and you can see certain commands which are available for this mail utility. These are the main options. You can also get a complete list of the commands by typing in list, and if you want to see the message, let me just bring it back up. You can type in, let's say type, and then the number of the message, which was 1. So we get the same message that we saw in the var spool folder. Now to delete the message, I simply need to type in delete and then 1, and the message will be deleted. If I type in now, let's say type 1, we see that there is no message. To get out of this utility, you can simply type in Q. Now if this user Tom, it wants that all the mails that are coming to it are forwarded to Ahmed or some other user, what he can do is that he can create a file which is in this format .forward, and over here it just simply need to type in the username, for example let's say Ahmed. We can also type in the complete domain if you want to send the email to external email sources or email servers, but for this very server, if the user is residing on this very server, we just need to type in the name of the user and then save the configuration. Now the result of this, that if any information or any mail message is sent to Tom, it will automatically be forwarded to user Ahmed. You can also use this mail command to send email to external domains. For example, you can type in, let's say mail Ahmed at some domain.com, and the mail will surely be forwarded to that particular email account. Now in case you are using Ubuntu that I used, it was not having by default any email server. So what you can do is that you can simply install postfix, and the rest of the commands that I've shown you over here, they are the same in Ubuntu server as well. So I would urge you that you do practice around with this mail transfer agent utility and try to send mails, try to forward, try to see what all aliases does, and I'm sure that you will love this postfix utility and overall the functionality of mail transfer agent. So that's all there is to it. Do practice around with this one. I hope you have liked the video. Thank you for viewing.